Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again. And on this edition of Voices Big and Small, we're going to be talking about Calgary based voice actress Angie Beers. Um, Angie, of course, does a lot of her, again, don't have much biographical information on her. All I can tell you is that she's done quite a bit of work for Blue Water Studios up in Calgary. And without no further ado, let's get started on looking at some of those roles. So, Angie's voice acting career with Blue Water Studios started back in 2002 when she was cast as um, Ryoko Anzai in the Blue Water dub of Fancy Lala. Then, as we move ahead to 2003, she was cast as the English voices of Mint, Heskey, the helpful girl, child patron in the Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball. Moving ahead to 2004, um, she was cast as the English voice of the Lost Doll in Gregory Horror Show, which is a very interesting kind of horror type anime. You know, kind of the spooky hotel gimmick. Um, Pretty fun one to watch. She, of course, reprised her role in as Lost Doll in Gregory Horror Show, The Bloody Cart, which is the second part of the franchise, and then she was also cast as the voice of Nana, um, Sega City announcement in Mega Man X Command Mission video game. And then she was also cast as Konami's friend in the English voice of Konami's friend in Inuyasha: The Secret of the Cursed Mask video game. Then she would reprise her role of Lost Doll as well as providing additional voices in Gregory Horror Show: The Second Guest. And then probably the one role most people would know her from was as the English voice Fa Yuri in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. Fa Yuri in Mega Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. That's all of our roles from 2004. Then as we move ahead to 2005, in season one of Dice, she was the English voice of a reporter. Then she would reprise her role once again as Lost Doll in Gregory Horror Show: The Last Train. I think the final portion of that in the Gregory Horror Show franchise. Also in 2005, she was cast as the voice of Junko in Hoop Days as well. Among some of the other voices she provided for included the announcer, Fujiwara's sister, announcer, classmate number one, additional voices. Then she would reprise her role as Fa Yori in the video game Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam vs. Zeta Gundam. Then she was cast in the anime Flame of Recca as the English voices of Tatsuko, Inuko, and Aristocrat number two. Then also in 2005, she was cast as Mika Suzuki in Doki Doki School Hours, the teacher in that. If you've never seen Doki Doki School Hours, I highly recommend it. It's very funny comedy slice of life type. Um, Angie's role here as Mika Suzuki is as a diminutive teacher. Basically, when you look at her, you would think that she was a child, but she's actually 27 years old. But yet she looks like a child. Um, so some funny antics in the show that you guys might want to check out. Also in Doki Doki school hours, she also provided the English voices for student competitor number one, exiting student competitor number two, crying graduate number one, girl getting buttons, and then she also sings the book song for Mika. Now, for the most part, they used an ensemble cast in this, and then if they did need to use additional voice rather than bring more people in or other people in, they would just do it themselves. Because aside from, of course, her character, the teacher, her class, and her parents, there wasn't, and the school nurse who would prove to be her best friend. Um, there wasn't really a lot of interaction outside of that situation. So, anyways, that's Doki Doki School Hours. She plays Mika Suzuki. As we move ahead to 2006, she would provide additional voices for the OVA Mega Man X: The Day of Sigma. Um, then she would provide the voice of Roll in Mega Man Powered Up video game. And then she was cast in Full Moon O Sagashite as the English voices of Kione, a high school girl, as well as Risa the stylist, Natsumi, cosplaying idol. And then also in 2006, she would be cast as the English voice of Rinko Gerard, who who was one of the power users. She had the ability, I think, to harden things and shoot them. Like she'd usually use marbles or something like that. But among the other voices, Rinko Gerard was her main voice. But among the other voices that she had would include Coaching Beast number one, Celestial number two, Nurse, Ghost, Coaching Beast, Mother, Female Student number one, Child. Um, I guess to help you understand, Law Ueki was an anime in which you had these celestial beings called God candidates, and so the God right now is deciding it's time to retire. So what he had, or I guess every 1,000 years they have to select a new God, and the way they do that is they empower young people, usually teenagers or middle schoolers with powers, and they represent, and in battles they represent the God candidates. The idea is that they have to go out and defeat um, other power users, and the one who's the ones who are left standing, the God candidate and their individual. Once they win, the God candidate becomes God, and then the power user will get one wish granted to them. So, an interesting one you might want to, because the main character Ueki, who is voiced by Cole Howard, I believe, um, his power is to turn trash into trees. Ringo Gerard can harden like objects and shoot them. So an interesting one to check out. Moving on to 2007, she is cast in she's cast a number of English roles in DG Carrot Neo. Her main role is, of course, as Akali Usada, as well as Yore, dentist customer number 4, dentist customer number 7, Masao, Mimi, Akali, and additional voices. She also sings Little Rabbit Girl for Akali as well. Also in 2007, she was cast as the English voice of Arika Umemiya in the follow-up anime to My Hime My Atome, and she also sings the song "Shine Your Power Around Me" for Arika. She was also cast in the lead role of B.B. Blocksberg, which was a European cartoon that I guess they dubbed. And then she would then also in 2007 reprise her role as Fa Yori in the Dynasty Warriors Gundam video game. Then moving on to 2008, she would reprise her role as Arika Umemiya, this time being a Meister, in the Mai Atome Z-Way OVA. Basically, what Mai Atome and Mai Atome Z-Way were about were basically girls who were infused with nanobots that gave them, special abilities to where, as long as they didn't have intercourse, these, these nanobots would, you know, nanites would continue to be in them, and they would give them enhanced strength, speed, certain powers to where they could be, personal guards for royalty a lot of times. So, also in 2008, you know, um, also in 2008, she was also cast in three roles in Hunter in the 1999 version of Hunter x Hunter that was dubbed by Blue Water. Not the one that was on Toonami about a year ago. Um, this is the older version, the one that just went up through um, the York the Yorkview arc. That was the one. As an older arc that they dubbed, and then of course when they redid the series in 2011, they did more of the series. But this is the version that they just went up to the Yorkview City arc, which was originally done in '99. The dub was done in 2008, and Angie would be cast as the English voice of Kokolu, Heaven's Arena Elevator Operator, and Kaluto Zoldyck. So that was awesome in 2008. Aside from, of course, what I'd already mentioned with My Atome Z-Way. Then as we move into 2009, she would be cast in the anime Pretty Cure as the English voices of Mipple, Sun, Dark Brunette, Dark Brunette student, Fergie, fangirl number 4, announcer, and goalie. Pretty Girl was another very interesting anime, kind of a action adventure one. For those of you who like seeing girls and young girls empowered, this is one of those animes where you get to see girls kicking butt. For those of you who like that sort of thing. Let's see. Also in 2009, she would reprise her role as Fa Yuri in the video game Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2. Oh, and I get okay. This is where they listed that. Okay. Some sources say that they did the Hunter x Hunter dub in 2008. Some sources say 2009. And then she was also cast in Viper Creed as the English voice of Sabrina Galmud, as well as girl number 3. And then basically after that, not sure on all the dates. In 2014, she was cast as in Future Card Buddy Fight as Torumi Kuchinawa. And then she was also involved in Card Fight Vanguard in the first series of Card Fight Vanguard, which was originally done from 2011 2012. I don't know the dub date though. In the first series of Card Fight Vanguard, she was cast in episodes 39 and 40 as the voice of Toilette. And then in some of the subsequent Card Fight Vanguard series, Card Fight G Next, Card Fight G Gers Crisis, as well as the high school arc and the Shinamon arc. And then Card Fight Vanguard 2018, she was cast as the English voice Emi Sendo. She was Emi Sendo in Card Fight Vanguard and Terumi Kuchi, um, Kuchinawa in Future Card Buddy Fight. So those are basically the roles of Angie Beers. I can't give you much more information on it. There's not much out there, um, but as always, guys, I encourage you. Even with some of the, as I said, the last 2 or 3 weeks, been focusing more on voice actors and actresses that people don't know as well, especially right now with the fact that everybody's kind of cooped up and because of everything going on in the world right now. Um, Good time to try to catch up on some animes. Go back and look at some old classics and check out the dub work from those out there. Because as always, guys, the Funimation and their voice actors are not the only game in town, regardless of what they keep telling you. Right now I know the conventions are are not active, for the immediate future. But I just want to remind you guys that when you guys do, have it, when you have the opportunity to check out some of these people's works, and and if you like them, my suggestion is if you want to meet them, the thing to do is to contact your local cons and ask them to invite them to your local cons. That way, you can get a chance to meet them, tell them how much you appreciate their work. Um, so with that little reminder out of the way, I will also just say this. If you want to contact me directly, you can check the links below. My Discord's down there. You can direct message me on Discord. You can check out the Discord if you'd like and join. I'm still promoting a bunch of different dub companies because Funimation is not the only game in town. Um, Also, I'm still promoting the GoFundmes. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. If you have the means to and in your heart to do so, please consider donating. If you've already donated, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can still help out the cause by sharing the link. So sharing is caring. You never know. Maybe somebody in your circle of friends might want to help out the situation. Um, Also, um, if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I always look forward to the conversation with you guys as long as it's civil and respectful. I won't tolerate any kind of like bullying or I'll go back and forth with you if you've got a legitimate point to make or you have a question. But if you start out your comment with something like you idiots or you know only idiots or anything like that, I will delete those comments. We can agree to disagree and we can be civil about getting our points across. You know, I do look forward to the conversation, to having very civil and respectful conversations. You know, you know, um, but I won't put up with any garbage. You know, so just letting you guys know, um, so you're aware of that. Well, anyways, guys, I hope to catch you guys at the premiere of this episode on Friday, and if not, I'll see you on Monday. Bye.